going on, Zombs? Yeah, it's your zombie out here in Roseman, California, the Weaver John C. Grunt. And it's the 22nd of still April. Coming up on the Indian in about the next hour or some odd minutes. And while the world's going hell in a handbasket, I am still going through my own damn thing. It's 10:51 at night, and my head is full, but not of depression, though. That's the thing. No. We're not dealing with that little lovely sorry son of a sea dog that loves to drive me crazy. No, it's about figuring out essays and figuring about how to write them, especially when we are dealing with how to interview God. I may use this video just for reference at this point because I may be throwing it out. And I have to throw it out because right now, the only way for me to do it is to do it. Do. Ah, shut up. Couldn't stand that damn thing anyway on there. So, well, the students will be packing off sweetly and trying to figure out what they want to do for their essays. And I think it's kind of freakish for me to do this kind of situation here. I have yet to discuss to the English professor at this point of my dastardly deed to be done, and why I am the way he thinks and perceives I am. Except for the information I keep telling him, and the information sometimes I hold back, and other information I don't hold back and reveal, and then it's like a little bit of the onion left and right. Alright, toward this gentleman here of literature, of what goes on beyond a troubled mind. While he can study the literature aspects of it, has he also studied about the psychological and the mental health of creativity, or creative people, actually? Has he ever considered that? And unfortunately, when you're dealing with creative geniuses, did they not have their own mental instabilities? And did they not going through their own mental defects? The living and the dead, the past and the current. And you wonder how come we writers, we dreamers, we thinkers, we creators use up a hell of a lot of energy out of our damn skulls, out of the squishy brain we keep demanding more and more output, and wondering how come we don't go absolutely stark raving mad for those lucky few who keep looking at things and just laugh out loud for no apparent reason, or just stare, or try to do something creative. And there are too many of these examples going on. Too many deaths of too many people burning out in their heads. So how many of the authors, living and dead, have we all consumed with ravage delight? Did we ever take into consideration these poor bastards were suffering through mental health? If there was a cure for mental health during those days, would they be well-adjusted human beings, ready for the classifications that we are going to be putting on them like crazy? Come on, you got to be figuring that stuff out. Come on. Surely the people of educational status of you are did not think and did not hope that I would slide this in front of your face? Did you not understand that even the poor Poe that we quoted ravens around was also suffering through maladies in his head? Wasn't it said somewhere in the medical journals throughout the decades that creative people often go psychotic? Or maybe there's a small chance or a small community within the creative people that put people into nut farms or straitjackets, let alone be addicted to the Xanax and the the zipper means out there. And what scares the living crap out of me is becoming enslaved to them. Because I have to function. If I have to function, I'll function my way without being drugged out of my damn mind. So if I happen to go the way of the schizotic, then I guess I'm doomed for eternity on that one. But then again, isn't it the nutty jobs that actually get more of the attention and more of the guts and glamour? And I'm not even asking for that right now in my late life. But when I was a lot younger, that was a different story altogether. A quiet, depressing kid, probably with the sad, sorrowful eyes, looking at people left and right. Worse than the Poe images I've seen of those caricatures. Yeah, I'd seen those guys. I've seen those kind of caricatures. No, thank you. And the characters that walk in real life. They scare me. They tell me of a future or they tell me of a life that I'm not going to be able to deal with. Because with that kind of a life, I'm afraid of becoming one of them, or actually been one of them, or becoming one of them. Or have already been one and didn't even realize it. Why do the quote unquote super smart out there that we have in different fields of endeavor feel like they're burning out left and right? Talk to the squishy brain. Talk to the squishy brain. How much of it do we keep asking ourselves, and how much more do we keep getting out of it? Is there anything left of it? Are we burning it out? Or is it still trying to rebuild more and more synapses to keep up with our frenzy? I have to ask professions. I even ask a profession that teaches me world literature of different authors. But the thing is, he never teaches to the class. And that's the one thing he's got to do, and I will push him on this one. You're going to be creative. You're going to feel like you're going to be one of those superstars. Fine. And this is a warning to the students as well. Don't be surprised down the road if you happen to see yourself and that person is not what you expect, but that person is you. It might scare you. It might freak you out. Or you might be comforted at the fact that this particular freaked out person here had been you a lot earlier in life. And his squishy brain brought him to the top. And then everything else pulled him down. I say, for one example, we've had a lot of people like that. Heath Ledger was one of them. Played the Joker, if I'm not mistaken, on the movie The Dark Knight. He won a posthumous Oscar for his performance. He was so brilliant. It's not even funny. He studied for weeks and months how to be the perfect Joker, and why his performance still haunts people to this day. Or even some of the comedians that had pushed themselves to the edge. Robin Williams was one of those well-known, well-loved, and yet he used drugs early in his younger life, but afterwards got off of them. But he had a condition in his brain that put him over the edge. He did commit he did shut himself down. But I believe that condition of him killed him inside his head. But pushing it to the to the brink. He knew what mental illness was. He knew what creativity was. He knew what the spark was. He rode the lightning bolt until it crashed and burned. Every one of these creative, dynamic people, some of them may not have crashed and burned. They're still on the bolt as long as they can. And for some, well, it was a hell of a ride, wasn't it? They chased dreams. They performed miracles. They outdanced the lights in the sky. And then there was the sudden. There was the quiet. No show, no balloons, no cake. Stillness. Just there. Yeah. Sometimes you go out with a bang, other times with a whimper. I am not planning on either one just yet. A long time ago, I wanted to be one of those guys riding that lightning bolt. Only I had to get used to being just a dirt pusher, struggling like crazy on the earth, occasionally looking up at the sky by the reflection of the words in the books. I would see myself out there. You pick up a book, even at a young age. What do you see? You see characters on a page. You didn't look through your mind's eye. You didn't see the action. You didn't smell the surroundings. You didn't feel the touch. You look at the words and they're just characters on a page. You didn't see the characters off the page, dancing around right before your eyes, and you didn't catch that. There was a difference between me and some of the other people that I was living around growing up as a kid. My world was books. I was a sickly kid, and my book was the only companion. Well, except for a stuffed animal or two. But those characters came out. Not as hallucinations, but more like spirits jumping out. You could see your favorite character. And it's like, whoa. Not visually, but you use your mind's eye to envision it. And then it becomes whoa. And I've had that in my life. I pick up a book. I didn't say poem. I said book. But even in books, there are poems in there that are talking about things that dance about nature and the nature of ourselves. Nah, I couldn't get into that. I had to see what was going on. There had to be an action. There had to be a drama. There had to be something like viewing it on a television screen. So every time I picked up a book, I was looking at a television screen. I was seeing what was going on. I was seeing the play being performed in front of me. I was seeing my own television shows in a book. And I'm hearing it. It's like back in the 70s. You see your favorite shows But for you youngsters out there in your own time period, it's like watching your own actors and actresses that you know of and liked. Yes, I do use that other terminology for it. I'm old fashioned, I'm old school. You have male actors, you have female actresses. Screw the political correctness. They still earned that title, by the way. And I use it too. Because I saw some wonderful actresses. Or actors, if we want to go back to PC again. Male and female in between. The world's gone. And it keeps going. We keep changing a lot of our viewpoints, our words, our actions, our deeds, our thought patterns. We dance the light fantastic. We use the cliches left and right to prove how smart and clever we are. Not really. Unless we truly danced on that electric. We danced with the bolt. Unless we shot our imagination and our heart beyond the walls that we live here by. Some people called me a poet at times. Like, nah, I'm not a poet. I just say what's in my mind. I say what's in my heart. Some days when I'm actually able to focus and grasp onto it, I feel it, the rush, the adrenaline. It's not the crackle. It's not the crackle at all. It's the spirit that moves a person. Until one's reminded by outside sirens that scream up and down streets just how fragile my own life is. How I feel. How I think. Some people probably think I'm old and ancient, but I've seen other people who are older and ancient, and they're still young. They still try to keep the twinkle in their eyes, and they're still going. Still trying to cram as much as they can in that squishy brain, as we call the brain, a squishy organ. Try this for a Halloween gag, guys. When you want to scare somebody in a haunted house, get yourself some white pasta. Cook it up, mold it, shape it into a form of the human brain. Put it into a colander. And while you're entertaining your guests, stick your hand in the colander. You tell them. Why? What's in it? Ooh, I don't know. You tell me. I seem to be losing a mind somewhere. Do you think it might be in this one here? I'd seen the reactions decades ago in a haunted mansion. Well, using the imagination of a lot of kids. They were in a haunted mansion of sorts, and they're listening to a storyteller. He's passed it around the cauldron with the spaghetti in it. Just a white spaghetti, nothing on it. Starchy as hell. Sticky, too. The brain. Feel the brain. Some of those kids are like, I'm like, ooh, this is squishy. I freak the kids out. Kids are freaking out there themselves. And I'm feeling the same thing. I'm like, ooh, it's sticky. I just sticky stuffed them. Use your imagination a lot. Kind of gets you carried away a little bit. And I used a lot of it in my adult life, trying to escape from reality. Didn't exactly work too well. So, this is my own video to tell people what's going on these days. I have been a sickly kid as a physical kid. I've had the normal bumps and bruises, broken bones, busted faces, car accidents, falling out of tree houses, busting my face in a brick wall or two here and there, almost slicing off a thumb. Worst of it, having a damn heart opened up and sealed up, and then having metal on your skin to hold things together ripped off. As soon as your skin's healed, you start to bleed again because of the damn staple removers. And the pain goes on. Crazy as it may be sounding, ask someone what's more crazier, the world we're living in right now or the world in his head? That's a question right there, isn't it? What's more crazier? What you've been seeing on the outside world, things happening these days? Or when you look back at your own history, or you look back in your own imaginations that you've had and held onto for years, and actually see the characters age with you. You see in your mind's eye the gray hairs and the wrinkles. And you wondered whatever happened to them. They stuck by you all this time, and they grew and they aged. They had their own lives. You had yours. They didn't bother you as much. They kept you company all throughout your youth and in times of trouble. And you tried to be there for them in their times of trouble. They'd come out just when you're trying to take care of something and you really needed help. And the only way to get help is to help out your friends. And then people wondered how come you were acting so damn strangely. You couldn't tell them that you went to Narnia and you helped out kingdoms. You used a magic wand to fight the Dark Lord if you had to. You picked up a phaser and joined your fellow red shirts. You picked up a lightsaber and went after Vader again. Or the Emperor. You used what you used. And you came out of it. And you still had to deal with your life's problems. But then again, life's problems weren't all that hard to deal with. Because now you know how to deal with it. Somewhere in there you'll learn something. I had a powerful imagination fed. And it fed like a beast. I was a hungry, ravenous wolf. I never stopped. Wanted more and more. My pocketbook was getting more and more bare as a kid. Every Christmas, I'd be getting a new book for 20 years, 20 or 30 years. When I really could afford the books, I stopped getting books for Christmas. And when they got rid of most of the brick and mortars, I guess that was about it for my life for reading books. It's nothing like going into a bookstore. And I'm not talking about just a dusty old library. I don't know. I'm talking about a bookstore when you smell the fresh, you smell the new, you smell the reprints. Oh, I go into a library and I walk past the books and I'm like, I know all you guys, and yet I haven't read you, but I know you. I go into a bookstore and it's like people I've never met. And I'm not talking about the guys wearing the badges saying, "Can I help you find what you're looking for?" Don't mind me, I got weak hands. Let me see if I can get them working here or something here. Here we go. I got working hands here. What you need? Well, do you have this particular book I have in mind? I never even heard of that thing. What are you doing? Go to someone else who can help you out. No. Next customer in line, please. Yeah, what book are you looking for? Oh, good Lord, not you again. You were here last year. We didn't have it then. We still don't have it now. Well, I know, because I know all the books. Well, what do you mean you did an online search? What the hell is that? Smart alecky adults. What, they can't listen to us 20-year-olds who don't know our ass from a hot rock? Oh, fine. Just talk to my manager about it. Fine, I'll help you out. What was that book you were looking for again, sir? I'm sorry, madam. Okay, aisle 12. Nonfiction. You want me to take you there? Oh, good Lord, you want me to work for a living? Sir, I just got this job yesterday. You're not putting me through this. I quit. So much for imagination, especially when they quit on you.